For continuing coverage, visit cbscolorado.com.
I'm Joel Hillen, your reporter at the desk. We are following breaking news as there is a full closure of I-70 just at the foothills because of a massive accident that involved a tanker truck and included a fire. That fire spreading across lanes and into the grass down below, affecting both directions of traffic. I want to show you these pictures coming in now from Copter. This is the live feed, and you can see the heavy response that we have. So we have Jefferson County Sheriff's Department working with CDOT crews, as well as Colorado State Patrol on this as the investigation continues into this accident. But just look at the size of this scene. That's the tanker you see at the center of your screen that is at the center of all of this. Behind this is a car which apparently has hit the back of that tanker, and it is all charred along the roadway. You can see where the fire had spread down onto the lanes that are now eastbound. So what you're seeing, the lanes to the left are westbound. The lanes that you see to the right are the eastbound lanes of traffic. All of I-70 shut down, but you can see how that fire poured down into those eastbound lanes. And then as Copter zooms out in the upper right-hand portion of your screen, we saw crews working earlier to extinguish a hot spot along that area as well. They are keeping their eye on that. What is that road that you see to the north? That is a road that parallels along I-70 there, Highway 40, and you see just how slowly traffic is moving along there. That is one of the alternates that Colorado State Patrol has given. I want to show you my computer really quickly because this is the alert that is on CO Trip right now, as both directions of I-70 are closed from the Lookout Mountain exit to C-470. They expect this to be an extended closure into midday or early afternoon. These are the alternate routes that they are giving, and I'm going to pull up this map here so you can see the closure itself and zoom on in. We'll take this off here so you can see a little better. This is just my computer here, but you can see the entire length of this closure, and then the colors as you zoom in, that dark red, you can see what a mess this is up near Mother Cabrini Shrine. That is that cross that you can see lighted at night up into the foothills. This is C-470 along the right here, and then you've got Morrison up through here. So this is Highway 74 that takes you through Idledale, Kittredge. That might be a better way around. Evergreen, this is going to take you a lot longer, but that's going to get you around this entire closure if you go along C470. What they are saying as well, Highway 40, you can see how that parallels right along I-70 there, and I'll zoom in so you can see it a little better. That is given as an alternate as well, but you can imagine the immense amount of traffic that you have both directions on I-70 now sort of funneling into a very tiny highway that is not meant to have that much traffic capacity go through it. You can also go up here, Highway 6 through Clear Creek Canyon. That'll get you back onto I-70 as well, instead of taking the 119 cutoff that you would go to visit Black Hawk or the casinos up there. You take Highway 6 and you get back onto I-70 there. But this is the heart of the closure. I want to show you the tweet that was sent out by Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, and I'm scrolling down because some people have posted some pictures there. You can look at the extent of the smoke that we're seeing on this fire. This has been posted on social media here. This is John Meyer as he was driving past the scene. He took a couple of pictures, just how much smoke. That smoke was visible across the Denver metro area. You'd look into the foothills, and it is one of those beautiful bluebird days in Denver where you can see not a cloud in the sky, and that black smoke right up against that was quite the juxtaposition. We've had some videos that have been sent to us by viewers, and I'm going to blow this one up here so that you can see. This is one of the videos, just that smoke that was pouring out, and the cars wanting to escape that, trying to turn around on the interstate. And look at the large plumes of black smoke, not only from the original fire, from the truck, but from that car as well. And then as it spilled down onto the highway, these folks along the right saying, I'm not sticking around for this, I'm getting out of here. But this video shows you the extent of that as you're making your way uphill along I-70. There was another video that was sent in as well. I'll go back and see if I can try and find that one. This is the one we were seeing just now. Here's the other video that we had of just how much black smoke there was, and there was just no way to kind of escape this for some of the folks there. You can see the sheriff's department there on the side of the road, the Colorado State Patrol troopers as well. I'm going to take you out of this video. We have, I understand, Tamara Rollison from CDOT is going to be joining us here in just a minute to answer some questions. As you could see, the huge reroute that we had there on traffic. I want to take you back out to Copter to give you an idea of the scene, what it looks like now as well. So this is I-70 closed in both directions. This is right near Morrison. And again, you see the truck that's at the center of this, that is at the center of the screen right now. Behind it, you have the car that looks to be involved in this accident that hit the back of that tanker truck. And then the huge black that you see that goes all the way across all lanes of traffic of the highway. And as Copter continues circling around, what you'll see is that black, then that ash extends down into the eastbound lanes of the highway where that fire just stretched. And then as Copter continues around, you see how the fire just followed right along the median there, all the way up. It crossed all lanes of traffic and then headed down the hill as well. So we have fire crews not only on Highway 40, but on I-70, both in the westbound and eastbound directions, that are continuing to mop up these hot spots and take care of the hot spots as well. And look at the traffic just backed up. So now that traffic was heading westbound uphill, and CDOT, what they've done is completely closed I-70 starting at C470. And as we got our crews heading out there to the scene, what they're saying is that you can't get from 6th Avenue onto I-70 because they're trying to keep people from even getting up the hill and into that area, because you have a very small highway there, Highway 40, to try and get those cars to go around all of this morning. We have calls into Colorado State Patrol, who are part of the investigation, to figure out if the injuries that were involved in this accident. I'm guessing that there are some that are part of this accident. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office saying as many as 6 cars were involved, but we're trying to count the cars, and it's hard to tell. Are they in the eastbound lanes or in the westbound lanes? But the focus seems to be on that tanker truck in the middle with the car behind it, the 2 main cars that are involved in this accident. But backups extend for quite a distance. Again, if you look at the map here on my computer, you can see that they extend along the Mother Cabrini Shrine all the way out by the Mount Vernon Canyon Country Club as well. As I mentioned, Tamara Rollison joining us from CDOT. Tamara, what can you tell us about what has happened?
Well, all I can say at this point, all hands are on deck. CDOT, we are working with emergency responders, and we urge motorists to stay away from the area because of the delays. And we do have a detour route set up on US 40, but as you said, that's going to get packed. So we absolutely urge motorists to avoid traveling in that area as this situation continues.
So my guess is that you're trying to reroute folks onto Highway 40, just parallel to get around this. But what are some other options? I'm guessing Highway 6 and maybe even Highway 74 through Evergreen.
Well, generally, our main route that we are rerouting traffic on is US 40. That's what we recommend. And then another thing that we recommend as well too is that we are having our cotrip.org map. We have an app for that, and also online. Just go to cotrip.org, and you can find out the latest information, or at least the road closure information, as to what's going on with this incident right now.
And according to your alert there on cotrip.org, you're saying that you expect this to extend into midday or even into this afternoon.
It's really hard to say how long we think this is going to go on. I can just say for now, for this moment, at least through a good part of the day, motorists should avoid the area if they can.
It'd be helpful to cruise there. I guess the other thing is the assessment of the roadway. I don't know if you guys have been able to get a preliminary idea of how hot that fire burned and if there's any damage to the road that needs to be fixed as well.
It's too early for us to go there at this point. We're just all hands on deck at this point of what's going on.
And for folks, if they want to be most helpful in the situation, the thing they can do right now, it sounds like, is to avoid the area.
Absolutely. Avoid the area because you're going to get caught in some delays. And then you can monitor what's going on by going to cotrip.org. And you can also look at the cameras, and you can see a bird's eye view of what's going on in that area as well, too.
Yeah, and Tamara, I will point out, if folks haven't used CO-Trip in a while, that I guess in the last couple of years there have been some vast improvements to it. It's very interactive, it's very informative, and people can get a lot of information on that one app.
It is, and I appreciate you saying that. It is an incredible information tool. I use it myself not only for work, but just for personal travel as well. You can go to that. You can find out all of the latest alerts statewide. But what is really super helpful is taking a look at the cameras. And you can pop those cameras up, and you can see what's going on.
Excellent. Tamara, is there anything else that you would want to add to folks that are just tuning in?
We'd just like to emphasize, avoid the area if you can. Really know what you're getting yourself into if you decide to go out, and check cotrip.org before you head out.
Tamara, are you able to say if there are any injuries in this crash?
No, I can't. I really am not the right source to talk to about that. All I can say is our CDOT crews are out there helping with the effort. They are out there as part of the road closure, trying to keep things as safe and secure as possible. And, they're out there working alongside with our other emergency responders.
Talk about what that process looks like for you guys when you have an all-hands-on-deck moment like this. We were watching here along the copter feed. You could see a CDOT truck pulling up. It's helpful because you have the big signs with the arrows and the flashing and the cones, and you can help with all of that. What sort of things do you help with?
We help with all things with traffic control. We help with the road closure. We help to keep traffic away from the point of danger, to keep everyone as safe as possible. But that is about what we are focused on right now. There's really not any more information I can convey at this time. But thanks so much for checking in with us.
Oh, Tamara, we appreciate you. Tamara Rollison, one of our media partners over at CDOT. She helps us keep informed about all stuff going on in the Denver metro area. We sure appreciate your time this morning.
You bet.
So this is our view from Copter that we're seeing now near I-70 and Morrison. Copter launched about an hour ago as we got them going. We saw the plume of smoke. We got the calls into the newsroom saying, what's going on here? And look at those backups. Copter showing us now as you're trying to make your way up the hill. I mean, those cars are just packed, and they've got to go now from those 3 lanes down to 2 and then down to 1 to get off onto the highway on Highway 40. That is the parallel road that runs along I-70 in both directions. But that closure extending now from Lookout Mountain exit to C470. Our crews on the ground saying that they can get from 6th Avenue even onto I-70 as well. So I would extend that closure as well to I-70. And you have those poor folks that are just driving up to this and realizing it now. Again, as Tamara Rollison was saying, a great resource for you is cotrip.org. But of course, we have access to that. And if you've downloaded the CBS News app, we keep you updated on the big traffic alerts that are happening with our First Alert traffic team of what's going on. But look at that, 3 lanes of traffic at a complete standstill on I-70 in the middle of what is a busy week. That I-70 mountain corridor used not only for recreational purposes and for folks driving locally, but for commercial vehicles as well. Look at all those semis that are lined up, and those are all goods and services that need to get from point A to point B, and that's going to take a while to do. Tamara Rollison from CDOT just speaking with us, saying that they expect this to last through midday and even into the afternoon this afternoon. As Copter is giving us this look of all of the traffic backups. The focus, of course, has been at the center, a tanker truck, that there was a clear fire. Fire crews continue to be on scene there. And look at that, them just taking turns. You gotta go every other one and get the traffic moving onto Highway 40 there. But I want to show you the tweet and some of the videos that we're seeing here. This is from my computer now that we've pulled up, but you got the highway closure. This was the original alert, and as I scroll down here, you see the update from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. You can see the big black plume of smoke that we have along the right side of the highway. Viewers just trying to tweet and figure out what was going on through that whole situation. And we had several viewer videos just showing the huge black plumes of smoke through that whole area. We do have calls into the Colorado State Patrol to see about injuries. We asked Tamara Rollison about that with CDOT, and she said, hey, that's not my jurisdiction to do that. Anyway, we will continue to watch the Copter feed as it comes in, as well as the alerts that are coming in from CDOT. And you can see Copter's giving us all of the backups, and this is why you want to avoid the area. You may say, hey, I can go and just take my time, but the best thing you can do is avoid this area. Highway 40 is the frontage road that parallels I-70. That's what they're pushing all the traffic onto. But you can take Highway 74 and go through Evergreen, although those side roads aren't meant to take all of that traffic that would normally be on the interstate. US 6 as you get through Clear Creek Canyon as well. Instead of taking that turnoff to Blackhawk, you can take US 6 all the way to I-70, and that'll get you out past the accident as well. This right up against Mother Cabrini Shrine, that's the lights that you see that form the cross on the foothills that you can see in the evening from really anywhere in the Denver metro area, a signature of Denver. I-70, though, does remain closed at this time. This is something we're continuing to watch here on our stream. And again, you can get that at cbscolorado.com. You can follow the stream as well on our CBS News app. You just cycle down to get to Colorado, and then you can follow our stream there. And then we have the free Pluto TV app as well. So you can see a whole bunch of other channels, but including CBS Colorado, the stream is always on. I-70 closed both directions from C470 out to Lookout Mountain due to a accident that involved a tanker truck that there was then a fire that ensued from that spilled down from the westbound lanes into the eastbound lanes and then into the grass beyond that. This is a look at some of the backups that we had been seeing from Copter, but also this right there as you get to Genesee Park, this from our CDOT cam in that direction. As you move in that westbound direction, look at that, folks just trying to make their way through, and they're going to be sitting in that for a while. This investigation and the extended closure into midday or early afternoon. I'm Joel Hillen here at the desk. We've been following the situation for you. Let me kind of tell you our thoughts and plans as an assignment desk. Immediately we begin dispatching resources because we need to be able to see what is going on. So we have a reporter that is headed down to that scene, as well as 2 separate photographers that are hitting this from different directions. We have a helicopter that we've launched that's in the air. The helicopter will be able to stay in the air probably another 30 minutes before it has to land to refuel, but they're able to give us a look that we can't get really any other way, and that's because our crews get stuck in the closures as well, trying to get up to that area to be able to keep you informed of what is going on. But this is a look at the actual scene itself. As Copter circles around, you can see not only the water that they had been putting out on the tanker truck itself, but you could see it extend into the median, down into those eastbound lanes, and then the water that was poured on the fire as you got down to the south side of the highway there. Now Copter is arriving to where we see the car and then the truck that is just in front of it. This is the center point of what has caused all of this issue and closed I-70 in both directions. CDOT not able to tell us if there were any fatalities or injuries in this accident. We have a call into Colorado State Patrol, who is a partner on this, as well as the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, to get some information on injuries in this accident. And that's another thing that we're doing. We're scraping to get information from our various sources in all of those different departments and talk with them as well. But you can see, I'm just trying to see if that's an ambulance on scene there in front of the fire truck, or if that's an accident investigation team. Typically, if there's an accident that results in serious enough injuries that they could be fatal, they will shut down the highway in both directions, not only to handle the situation that's currently happening, that is to, put out the flames and to, take care of traffic control down through that area, but they're going to then move into accident reconstruction once they get everything cleared out of the way and they know what is going on in that situation. And so once they get that taken care of, they'll begin accident reconstruction so they can get a good investigation into what is going on. They only get one chance to do that, and even if you have to close I-70 through that mountain corridor with very few alternate routes, that's what they have to do in order to get a good investigation of what is going on. And so they will continue to do that. Now, a typical investigation, even in the middle of the night when there's not traffic control to do, will take 3 or 4 hours. So if this happened at 9:30, you can see that is going to extend not only through the midday, but then into the afternoon as well, into that afternoon commute. And this is one of those weekends where it's going to be a nice one. Callie's been talking about that this morning. A lot of folks may be wanting to head up into the high country to escape some of the heat that we'll be getting this weekend. As we get into the middle of May, we begin to talk about that. And some folks wanting to leave early, you're not going to be able to do that. I would advise against doing that, or at least take your time and maybe head through Evergreen or to the north, US 6 through Clear Creek Canyon. But those are some of the things that we're working on here at the desk, dispatching resources and then communicating it. I can tell you that we've already got a board in Wolf Tech, and if you look at this is the computer system that we use for our traffic system, and Brian Sherrod from our First Alert traffic tracker has been keeping us abreast of all of the closures. But this is what we call Wolf Tech. This is how we communicate internally. We've assigned crews to this. We have all of the information and all of the information that we've gotten so far, and this is how we keep crews in the field informed, as well as our web team, our stream team, which is what we're on now for CBS Colorado, and the desk. This allows all of the information to flow between all of us. So that's what we try to do here from here at the desk. But I want to take you back out to CO Trip here, and and you can see I-70 closed both directions. The alternate is being set as that frontage road, but as I take you to this map, you can see the alternate is Highway 40, but look how loaded up that is as you get parallel to the highway. That's not meant to handle all that traffic. So I'll zoom out a little bit here, and you can see Morrison through Evergreen up to I-70 is a good route, as well as through Golden, but that route itself is getting loaded up as well as you go Highway 6. But you can take that all the way to I-70 and get around it as well. Again, CO Trip's a great resource. We continue our coverage here on the stream, CBS Colorado. As long as Copter's up, we're going to continue to provide those images for you. If we get more information or can interview somebody, I'll join you here from the desk to keep you updated. And of course, we'll have the latest on CBS News Colorado at noon. We'll see you then.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the CBS Colorado studios. We continue to follow this breaking news right now here on CBS News Colorado as firefighters continue cleaning up a multi-vehicle crash near Morrison. We understand right now the latest information is that one person has died and the truck driver has been transported to a hospital. Here's a look from Copter as well. This accident happened I-70 westbound near Morrison, near mile marker 256. In terms of traffic impacts right now, this is having a huge traffic mess right now all along the I-70 corridor. Both directions of I-70, again, between Morrison and Evergreen, are closed right now because first responders are responding to this scene, which has also included several spot fires, not just at the accident scene, but also on the sides of the road right now. Let's check in with our newest reporter, Andrew Hobner. He is live on the scene right now. Andrew, where are you, and how's it looking where you're at right now?
Yeah, Brian, we are just off of I-70, Highway 40 to the left of me and I-70 to the right. We're between mile markers 257 and 258. You can actually see the mile markers out to Idaho Springs and Grand Junction just to the left of that on the right shoulder. You can see exactly where this accident occurred. The remains of that one vehicle behind the oil tanker, and then the oil tanker itself, which has a portion of it essentially blown off. That dark spot all over the pavement that you're seeing, that is petroleum. That is exactly why the hazmat team is out here. There is crews that are going to be out here for a decent chunk of the late morning and the early afternoon. And it is important to mention, as you said leading into this, that there were spot fires on both sides of the highway. That's why you are seeing so many emergency vehicles on the eastbound side of 70 as well as the westbound side too. Now, as we did get confirmation, one fatality. The second person that was injured was the driver of the semi. They have been transported out to an area hospital. Both sides, of course, going to be closed for the foreseeable future. They're hopeful, transit authorities are, that this is not going to impact the evening commute, but it is looking very likely at this point that we may see disruptions to your afternoon commutes and even your evening commutes on I-70. Now, if we can pan the camera, over to the right side here, you can actually see the amount of traffic on both sides here of Highway 40. This is now becoming the main thoroughfare for everybody that cannot get onto 70. We faced significant traffic on Highway 6 trying to get here, Kevin Hartfield and myself, my photographer, and it wasn't necessarily anything that was bumper to bumper. The traffic still moved in a relatively decent way, but it was very clearly slow. The dino lots, the woolly mammoth lots over here, just off of I-70, essentially filled emergency vehicles coming and going in that area as well. And you can just see, if we go one more time over to 70, the size of the emergency response of multitude of agencies here: Fairmount, Pleasant View, Arvada Fire, Hazmat, as we mentioned, from Jeffco's Sheriff. CSP is here as well. They are going to be taking over this scene, and we have not yet seen their public information officer. Going to chat with them for a little more information once they do arrive here, but we'll leave you with the visual of the crash itself. You can see that one vehicle behind the oil tanker, the spray of fuel, and even just to the right side, you can see a little bit of scarring there from where the spot fire was on that right shoulder. There's also a little bit of concern about whether or not some fuel entered the river just on the left side here of eastbound I-70. But for those of you that are making a commute either up into the mountains or down the other side, find alternate means, because this area of 70 is going to be closed for quite some time. Brian?
Really quickly, in terms of for our viewers that are watching right now, to your right is I-70, and just to your left is State Route 40. Is that correct?
That is correct, yeah.
Okay. And have you seen any more firefighters spraying any more water on the scene right now, and also to the sides of the hill? We also saw some firefighters doing that earlier, very, very concerned, as you mentioned, of the fuel that was possibly leaking. Are you seeing more fire activity in terms of that?
Not any fire activity. We definitely are a little bit blessed that the wind is not too heavy today. That was a concern as we were driving up, wondering if there was substantial wind coming down this portion of 70, whether or not there was opportunity for the fire to spread. But it is, for all intents and purposes, out right now as one member of the Highland Rescue Team passes us on State Route 40. But you are seeing a little bit of cleanup occurring just off to the left side there of the oil tanker. We have seen fire crews spraying down water on that side as hazmat really gets ready to mop up all of the remainder of what is here on I-70 westbound.
Okay, Andrew Hobner, thank you so much for that update. We appreciate it. Again, if you're just joining us right now, both directions of I-70 in the foothills between Morrison and Evergreen are closed right now because of this, what was an earlier car fire, involved one tanker truck and one car. Again, from what we understand, the driver of the tanker is taken to the hospital with injuries. The driver, another driver, was taken and was fatally killed from what happened earlier. We're still piecing together exactly what happened here from earlier this morning. But again, if you're heading toward I-70, just be aware of this. Avoid the area if you can, because traffic is definitely a slowdown, not just in this area, but it's now trickling down into the foothills area and near West Pleasant View as well, all along I-70, just because people are trying to figure out what's going on right now. So that's exactly what's happening. Let's check in with our traffic reporter, Brian Sherrod. He's showing us again where this is and really how to get around it, if there is a way to get around it, Brian, because it is a mess out there this morning.
And Brian, I've been looking at alternate routes to see the best way to go around it, because if you look right now, like we were mentioning before, between Genesee and, of course, in the Morrison area by 6th Avenue, you can see just issues here. It's all in the purple. The roadways are still closed. Now, as I was checking, it did say that multiple lanes, of course, of this area, when I was looking on codetrip.com, it was saying that it was going to take about 38 minutes to drive around the area if you are driving around the area. So I tried looking at other routes just to see the easiest way, but it looks like all the other routes are just pretty backed up right now. And because of this fire tanker truck, and like you mentioned, up to 6 vehicles, just such a mess out there. It's just backed up for miles. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you a CDOT map of the area just so you can get a chance to see a little bit closer of what I'm talking about. You're going to be able to see on that map just that area is just still backed up, and you want to make sure you're being extra cautious as you're traveling through this area. Really, just the multiple cars, we're seeing multiple pictures of it and just how much of an issue it's actually causing. I'm still, like I said, digging in to just find out the exact routes you can take, because some of the routes I was looking at looks like it could take you at least an hour or two, and you just really don't want to get stuck in this, of course, because everyone's kind of stuck in the middle. Brian, I'm going to keep continuing to dig and look into those maps just so I can get a quicker photo and a quicker view. But if you look right there on the CDOT maps, like we just mentioned, look at that. It is literally stop and go, not really able to go through the area, can't really reroute around there as well. It's a problem spot really for the last few hours. And when I went to go ahead and look on Jefferson County Sheriff's Office Twitter page, they were saying they're not sure how long it will take to clean up this area. I mean, it's going to take a couple more hours is what they're saying is impacting your commute. So right now, Brian, I'm going to go ahead and continue to keep looking to find a better alternate route. I'm going to toss it back to you for now so I can keep digging. I just want to give you the best route possible that's not going to get you, again, stuck in this big purple spot that's a road closed right now.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a mess for quite some time. Brian, thank you so much. In terms of the official alternative route, right now it's basically State Route 40, which runs parallel to I-70. But as we saw from Andrew Hobner's live shot as well, that's also starting to back up. And many people are also trying to get into these side streets, basically down south through Genesee, perhaps onto 74 and to 93 as well. But as you approach Morrison, that's starting to pick up as well. So people are just trying to figure out a way to get past this accident scene right now. But again, this is going to be the scene for quite some time. Let's check in with Joel Hillen. He's at the desk. He first brought you this breaking news, told us about it for quite some time during the last hour. Joel, we appreciate all that work that you put into it. Bring us any updates and up to speed on what you can provide for us, and maybe if you've heard anything on what exactly happened here from earlier this morning.
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to piece together, and I think that's what investigators are going to work on now, that they've got the fire contained and they have the one injured driver that has been taken from the scene, is to figure out what happened, and that's going to be the accident reconstruction. As you can see from Copter here, just how far that extends. We had Andrew Hobner there along the side of the road, Highway 40. That is the alternate route right now along the right side of your screen, and then this is the ground shot that we're getting from Kevin Hartfield. We got crews out there, Brian, along I-70 to just give us some better information, and Andrew was able to quickly talk with Colorado State Patrol and get us some better information, and that is that one person has died. You can see that car that's right behind the fuel tanker truck there, and then the driver of that fuel tanker was injured and transported from the scene. There is a long streak of where they have been putting water on this, as well as where that has burned, and Kevin was panning that for you, but I think the better view here is from Copter, and as it comes around, you can see that burn streak that then goes into the median from the westbound lanes of traffic into those eastbound lanes of traffic. And if Copter pulled out even more, it's a little farther up along the eastbound route there, but that seemed to pour off onto the hill there in the grassy area, and that's where we saw firefighters there working earlier. But all of that traffic that we saw on I-70 getting pinched down onto Highway 40. So we're glad that Brian is looking up some alternate routes for us. I want to show you my computer because I want to show you some of the pictures that came in immediately after this. This was the original tweet that was sent out by the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. And I'll scroll down here and you can see some of the pictures that they have uploaded. That is basically the site that we're getting from photojournalist Kevin Hartfield. But take a look at some of these pictures right after. I mean, active flames going on. Look at this huge plume of smoke that extended up into those bluebird skies that we're experiencing today in the Denver metro area. Here's Rob Whitwer with this picture that you could see of the smoke that was pouring from that. I want to show you some of the videos real quick that we got into the newsroom. Let's blow this up here so that you can see it even better. But this is right after it happened, of the smoke freshly pouring down from that scene. And look at the flames actively burning. This is before fire crews were able to get out to the scene there and begin work on that. And take you back and show you the other fire here, the other video rather of this fire. And you can see cars were saying, nope, I want to get out of the way of all of this, because they could see that it was a fuel tanker. They could see that the fire was actively burning and they didn't want any part of that. And you can see this Honda Accord here, but all of these cars along the right shoulder, they're just trying to get out of the way of all of this smoke and this fire that's been happening. Again, this was an accident where one person has died. The driver of that fuel truck has been taken to the hospital. We don't know the condition. So Brian, from here at the desk, what do we talk about now going forward? What is the information that we're trying to gather? We're trying to get an idea of how long this closure is going to be in place and how it's going to impact your afternoon commute. I know a lot of folks will be heading up into the high country to take care of the great weather that we have. We've got, not just people that travel recreationally, but locally along I-70. That is right near Mother Cabrini Shrine, right near Evergreen. And so a lot of folks travel that locally as well as the commercial vehicles. And you can see all of those semis that are lined up here from our CDOT camera. The investigation now proceeds into what happened that caused this accident in the first place. That accident reconstruction requires the closure of I-70 for several hours at least, so that crews can begin the accident reconstruction and really evaluate what happened and the information that they have. Again, you only get one shot at that, which is why that these closures take place in the first place. Gathering information for us on the ground is Andrew Hobner. He's your reporter in Jefferson County. He is out there and watching the situation along with photojournalist, chief photographer Kevin Hartfield, who's out there providing these pictures that you're seeing now live up there. I will say that we are just learning from Colorado State Patrol that the truck was pulled off to the side of I-70 when it was hit. And that was one of the questions that we were asking, Brian, was because this truck was pulled off all the way into the right shoulder, like how did it get hit? Did that car that was behind, were they trying to pass in that emergency lane? I mean, clearly that truck is pulled off to the side of the road. You can see there, it was not in the lane of traffic, and that's not a position that a truck that would hit would just pull off into. As you can see, that whole scene is set up there. So it appears, and that's what Colorado State Patrol is confirming to us, that the truck was pulled off to the side of the road. The question is, why was that car, which is behind it, in that lane of traffic as well? And investigators are going to work to figure that out. Copter now pulling out the shot here to give us a better idea of the backups that we're seeing along Highway 40. And this is the message. I talked with CDOT, with Tamara Rollison with CDOT. This is the message that she wanted to get out to everybody. And the message is this: please avoid this area for at least the next couple of hours, if at all possible. That helps the crews on the ground. That helps the folks that are kind of stuck in this mess dislodge and be able to get out of that. And it helps the crews on the ground to be able to do what they need to do in a safe manner. But we appreciate the pictures coming into the newsroom. You can continue to send those, upload those via our social media, or you can email them into the newsroom as well. We appreciate them all.
Yeah, Joel, we appreciate that. You and I have covered many accidents during this time. time. And this is not just one accident where you put the car to the side as well. I mean, you involve several fire crews. This is also a hazmat situation as well. You involve CDOT too, because if there's any damage to the roadway, which it looks like there is right now, they need to take care of that. Any guardrail damage too. So this is going to be quite some time. We do not have an ETA on when this road is going to reopen. All we can tell you right now, again, as Joel mentioned it, Andrew Hobner, Brian Sherrod, please avoid this area, I-70, even in the foothills, if you're even getting close to where this is. This is near Morrison and Evergreen. Just stay away from here if you can for at least the next couple of hours, because it's going to be a mess. Joel Hillen, we appreciate your updates. Thank you so much. We do want to check in with Andrew Hobner once again. He's your reporter on the scene right now, closer to what's happening out there. Brian, any new activity from what you're seeing right now? Any new updates that you can provide for us in terms of what you're noticing?
To kind of add some visual context to what Joel was talking about, that you can see the right shoulder of the highway on 70 westbound here, exactly where the accident occurred, essentially just off to the side, and then discussing, as you did, Brian, some of the actual damage to the road itself and the guardrails. You can see this big group of fire and rescue that is just off to the side, but just above them it appears to be some CDOT guys, and the guardrail damage you can see there on the left side, as well as a little bit further down towards the fire. It might be obstructed by one of the trucks that's sitting here, but you can actually see there's some bending of the guardrail there as well, and some charring from the fire individually. We chatted with CSP. They don't have a PIO that is actively out here, but they're going to come chat with us in just a little bit as they start to reconstruct what did happen here earlier this morning that created such a massive traffic disruption here. And I would imagine a lot of people probably thought, when they heard about it this morning, some memories of 2019 and that runaway truck that caused such a significant accident on this portion of 70. Odd to kind of see it happening not just on the opposite side of the highway going uphill, but also on the shoulder as well. As you can see, a lot of questions that we're going to try and get some answers for throughout the day for you, as we hope that this traffic disruption doesn't last too far into the evening hours.
Let's hope it does not. Andrew, really quickly before we let you go, sometimes during major accidents like this, a lot of people do get impatient. Have you seen any drivers perhaps going in the opposite direction, going one way, going the opposite direction of what they're supposed to? That's very dangerous. Drivers should not be doing that. I'm just curious to see if you've seen that, or if there's been any other CDOT crews or Colorado State Patrol crews hoping to get this traffic moving along.
Yeah, it's actually been very cordial up here on 40. If nothing else, a lot of folks kind of driving the overlook here with their phones out to take a picture or a video of what's happened. But as we mentioned, and I'll walk out of the way of the shot so you can see, the traffic here isn't stop and go. I mean, it's kind of been a consistent 5 to 10 miles an hour. I know that's cold comfort for people that are trying to get somewhere, but it is a pretty normal and standard flow pretty much through 40. And then on the opposite side, you can actually see on that downhill, and I know we've gone to it a couple of times before, just the line of trucks on the downhill portion of eastbound 70 that are completely stopped. But the highway has been closed down for some time at this point, and so far out, couple of exits out, that there isn't actually anybody that can try and get through here. This portion of the highway on I-70 is completely opened up, and then everybody else just kind of pacing along on 40 as normal.
Yeah. All right. Andrew Hobner, we appreciate those updates as well. Stay safe out there as drivers get through that area. Again, just to recap really quickly before we let you go, major accident on along Interstate 70, rather. This is between Morrison and Evergreen. The accident itself is on the westbound side of I-70, pretty much on the base of the Mother Cabrini Shrine, if you're familiar with that area. But both directions of I-70 are closed right now. The alternate route is going to be State Route 40, but that's also backed up as well, as we saw from Andrew Hobner's live shot. One driver has been killed from this. There was a driver also involved in a tanker truck that has been taken to the hospital. Fire crews do remain on the scene. CDOT crews are there as well, and Colorado State Patrol, all there trying to piece together exactly what happened here. But again, if you could stay away from I-70 near Morrison and Evergreen, even toward the foothills just west of Denver here, just do that, because this is going to be like this for quite some time. We'll also bring the very latest on CBS Colorado News at noon. For now, have a good afternoon.
following breaking news on CBS News Colorado.
We have a breaking news update as State Patrol has an update on the semi crash that shut down I-70 near Morrison. State Patrol now says the semi overheated and parked on the right shoulder. That's when a driver crashed into the trailer. Fuel spilled through a culvert and onto the road. The culvert needs to be inspected for damage from the fire. We will have the very latest, including a live report, coming up on CBS News Colorado at noon.
For continuing coverage, visit cbscolorado.com. We're following breaking news on CBS News Colorado. For continuing coverage, visit cbscolorado.com.